So you've heard about all the things you can do with the Raspberry Pi, and you'd like to get started. Well, my course, Introduction to the Raspberry Pi, will show you exactly, step by step, all the things you need to do to install an operating system on your Raspberry Pi. And I'm going to show you two ways to do it. The first way, you install one operating system on your Raspberry Pi, so you always boot into that one system. This is good if you have one project you want to work on. You don't need to boot into other operating systems. You just want to boot into one operating system, work on one project, so you have one Raspberry Pi, one SD card, and one operating system. The second way, I'll show you how you can have a multi-boot system, so you can have 1, 2, 3, or more operating systems on one Raspberry Pi and one SD card. I think I have one that has 6 or 7 systems on it. And the nice thing about this is it keeps all your projects isolated. You have separate installs for each individual thing that you're working on, and you don't have to go get another Raspberry Pi or another SD card. You might want to have Kodi running on one of them so you can watch TV shows. Maybe you want to reboot, go into RetroPie and play some games. Maybe you have a third one with you have Raspbian where you're working on a project, maybe a surveillance camera or something like that. You can have other ones. You can have a standalone desktop that you want to use it. Anything you want to do, and it's nice because they're all isolated and they don't affect each other. The software I use for the multi-boot setup has a very nice backup feature. Also, this is really nice because as you're working on a project, you can do backups each step along the way. So if you get to a point where something's working and you like what you have so far, you take a backup, then you can move on to the next step or the next instructions. And if you get stuck or you forget to do something or something breaks, something happens that it no longer works, you can always go back to the backup that you did right before you started that next step. This way you don't have to start over again. You always have a backup along the way. You'll have a working backup that you can always go back to. This software makes that very easy to do. Introduction to the Raspberry Pi will show you the steps you need to get started using the Raspberry Pi. After your Pi is up and running, I'll show you some configuration tips to help performance and to keep your system safe. I'll also show you some common Linux commands to help you get familiar with the Linux command line. So if you're as excited as I am about all the cool things you can do with the Raspberry Pi, check out my course and let me know what you think. I always love to hear feedback from my students. And let me know what types of projects you're working on. Drop me a note and tell me what you're doing. I hope my course is helpful for you, and good luck with all your Raspberry Pi projects.